Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am so sorry for the delay in getting you guys an update on the Lego room, but here we are now. So a lot has changed since the last update. The last update was literally just showing you guys the space, what we kind of had in mind, the rough measurements and things like that. But in that time, we have now started to box in the room and we've got a lot of stuff lined up. So watch to the end of the video and I'll fill you in on everything. Okay, so obviously you can see behind me the place is a total mess. There's still the ladders, tools and stuff everywhere, but you can see the development that we've made so far with the Lego room. So we've got basically everything boxed in. All the wooden beams are up, which will frame the whole room. So behind all of this, we still need to get the electrics in. We've now got an electrician all sorted to come out and do that for us. After some going back and forward, trying to get a good quote, get like a reasonable time frame, it's just been a nightmare. So that kind of did delay things ever so slightly. But I'm glad to say that we are now sorted in that respect. Behind me here, this is the partition wall that goes like on the other side of this is the garage door, if you remember from the first video. So this is kind of where the room ends from that in that respect, and where the rest of the garage continues for like Aaron to like do his DIY stuff out to the main door. So yeah, you can obviously see that we've got the wooden frames up, and of course something that might be easy for me to forget to mention is the floor as well. Does not look exciting right now. It's just a big grey block of concrete, and that is essentially exactly what it is because again, if you remember from the first video, it was just like a bare garage ground. There was absolutely nothing to work with, so Aaron had to basically put some lining down, then some insulation, and then some concrete that he then poured, and it just leveled itself out. Took quite a lot of bags to do it, but it's so nice and level now. It's nice and smooth. So yeah, that is all ready for another layer of kind of like underlay, and then we're going to put laminate down on there, just to make it easier to clean. There was no danger I was going to put carpet in here, so that's going to be laminated, and we're going to do that probably like last because obviously we still need to get the plasterboard up, do the walls. They'll need plastered, a bit of paint on there, and then yeah, we don't want to get any paint on the laminate, so that the floor will get done last. But we've basically laminated most of the house ourselves when we moved in, so we don't imagine that'll take more than a lunchtime to do. So yeah, and also if you remember this window from the first video as well, I mentioned that we were actually going to keep the window despite, you know, there maybe being potential for sun damage there, but we again got some quotes from a company on getting a new window fitted because this is like older than me and falling apart and rotting. And we got a really reasonable quote, and we did actually explore getting like a UV kind of cover for it as well, because you can get windows that come with like a UV sort of layer on top of them, which apparently is pretty common for schools. There you go. But that was going to cost an extra £100. So what we've just said instead is we'll just get a regular window, and we will get the UV kind of like film that you can get and put on top of it yourself, which costs about £20 on Amazon. So there's a top tip if people didn't know that this stuff exists, to save their Lego in their rooms, wherever their rooms are. So yeah, and the idea behind this window is it's not going to be like this window at all. It's going to be like a full, like I can see out the window because I'd like to be able to see outside. But it's just going to have like a small window at the top for security reasons, and because I don't need it to open the whole way. In terms of actually talking about that, the fact that it's a full-length window did come in handy for some of the DIY. Aaron was kind of kicking himself and telling me not to film everything from the beginning. It was an idea we had because there were some absolute spoofs going on with the development, as I was being told, including kind of accidentally not quite planning the concrete laying out in his mind quite so smartly. So it meant that he did have to climb through this window, and he is over 6 foot tall. So he had to climb in this window carrying ready to go concrete, so we had to work fast, otherwise it was going to set in the bucket, and quickly try and pour it out and climb himself through, and apparently it was this whole thing. So that might have been quite funny to film, but hey ho, there you go. Maybe for the rest of it we'll film. And also apparently this board was a bit of a pain in the arse as well. This is a chipboard that he's put on the back of here. And he had to go around the other side, and basically there was something to do with a leg being up on a wall and pushing with all his might. I don't really know. It's Aaron, so he might have exaggerated a bit, but it sounded pretty mental. And yeah, also, of course, as well as framing the walls, we've done the ceilings too. So that will be an interesting one to see how he gets on doing that. That's going to be a two-person job for sure, trying to get everything up there. In terms of insulation, because it is like, I can feel a difference in here, like it's not as Baltic as it was, like before. This is basically where we stored our juice and some other things that could be should probably go in the fridge because it was so cold in here. Still sometimes store our juice in here for the time being. But yeah, I'm starting to feel like it's not as unbearably cold in here now. So obviously that is due to the flooring, the ground that Aaron has built with the concrete and the insulation that's under there. So we're going in the right direction. In terms of heating for in here, we're just going to move our plug-in radiator that we currently have in our bedroom down to here because we have since decided we're getting like full-on central heating, like new central heating installed in the whole house, which means ripping up all the nice carpet and laminate that we not long laid. Fun times. But we had gone out and bought a radiator for our bedroom, so we're not obviously wanting that to go to waste. So we thought, you know what, we can't actually get that heating system installed in the garage, so we'll just move that heater in here. So I think the plan for that is that it's just going to sit somewhere maybe under the window, because the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is basically where everything's going to go in the room. So very initially, the plan was, because it felt like more sensible, was that the Lego City was going to go in this side of the room, because if you see here, this is where the door is. So this is by far the biggest like space of like a square space potentially for a city to go. However, I really like the idea of my desk being near like the window and also being like further away from the door. For like, not that I imagine Aaron or the kiddies will be coming in or anything while I'm streaming, but I just like, it just felt like this was the way it was supposed to go. And initially, like me and Aaron were having a bit of a barter about it, being like, is that the best thing to do, blah, blah, blah. But since then we have actually decided that is how we're going to do it, and the Lego City is actually going to go on this side of the room. So it will basically span from the end of this door frame to the back. So we've calculated the space and base plates and all that kind of thing and how much space that will mean. I can't remember off the top of my head now. I will need to update you guys and put it in the video, like somewhere here. But it actually still means that I'm going to have so much space for this Lego City. And also, on top of that, there's obviously this space behind me, this wall here. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this bare at the moment in terms of like any kind of surfaces or anything like that, so that it has the potential for this Lego City to start off as a big rectangle and potentially come out like an L shape. Obviously that means it's not going to be like a continuous space in a sense, but I've already got ideas on top of my head, like things like maybe making just like a street here, or having like other sets displayed here instead, and then having like the main city over in this section here. Just because I've been thinking about the kind of sets that I've got, like I have obviously quite a few modulars, but I don't think my city is going to be like a typical city. It's not going to be very metropolitan is probably the best way to describe it. I have in my mind that mine is going to be quite fantasy like orientated, with the sets that I've got and all my interests as well and all the mocks that I want to do. So yeah, I'm going to find a way to make it like, you know, develop from one sort of style of city to the next. But I appreciate any comments or ideas that you guys can give me, so please let me know down below. In terms of this side then, obviously this is going to be quite a big space here, so you're probably wondering, well, what's going over here? So we're going to have like a kind of corner desk thing going on here, and we're going to have some of my part storage going on over here as well. Some of that will actually also go under the city. So you guys probably remember that I've got those Alex drawers that a lot of people use from IKEA, which are perfect. I've currently got 2. Originally I wanted to buy another 2 because of the parts that I've got, and I really wanted to like just kind of separate them out more. But in terms of like, they're still so expensive, these Alex drawers from IKEA. They're like, I don't know, £100 each or something like that, or more. I can't remember now, but they're just like a silly amount of money for what they are. So I've actually kind of had another think, and I think I'm just going to buy another one for now. And they will actually, we've measured it out. I probably would be able to fit 4, like right along here, the length of the city, but it'll be a bit of a tight squish, and it might not actually all fit, but 3 will definitely fit. So I'm going to have them right at the front, and ideally I would have liked them to be under my desk for like when I'm doing building and things like that, so I don't have to like go between parts of the room. Like a lot of people have complained like they've reorganized their rooms for that reason. But in terms of like the space I have to work with, that is just the best option. And to be fair, as I said, like this room is like 5 and a bit meters by 2 and a bit meters, so it's not like a huge amount. Like I'm not having to go miles and miles away, you know, to get to my parts. It's not going to be a big deal for me. So that is where they're going to go. And behind that, I might end up hiding away the backlog. But I don't imagine there'll be much of a backlog once I get this city and this room sort of built, because I'm just going to be like building them all the sets that we've racked up over the months and year. So yeah, very, very exciting. In terms of the walls, I think at the moment, just going to keep it nice and plain, keep it, you know, just paint them white for the time being. We have looked at some really cool kind of like tech that you can buy in terms of signage for going behind the city. I'm not going to give too much away about that because we don't know if we're going to get the stuff yet, but it's going to provide an alternative to basically painting the walls like a mural or like a skyline or anything like that. Because I kind of want the flexibility to change things about. So if I kind of paint the walls in a certain way, you know, it kind of just kind of solidifies that in, and then I can't change it later. So the idea that I've got is really cool. I've not seen anyone else with this and their setups or anything like that. And it means that it might look a bit more fantastical and magical, but yeah, I won't say anything else. So yeah, stay tuned for that if that happens. Yeah, because that option also wasn't looking too expensive, which is also the other draw, I suppose. So yeah. And then for the rest of this side of the room, we're going to have like, I mean, for most of the walls, we're going to have like shelving so I can put my display sets up. So like sets that don't belong in a city. So off the top of my head, things like the Walt Disney camera is like a main one that comes to mind. Some of the botanical sets, they would look crazy in a Lego set. It'd be like Godzilla meets flowers. So yeah, things like that, like things that just don't go in a city, I want to still be able to display nicely. And there'll be little bits and pieces here that aren't Lego that will get displayed as well, just to kind of zhuzh up the room. And I also have some really, really cool prints that I got from like Disney 100, like the Disney 100 Expo that I went to earlier this year. Some really, really cool, massive like prints and things like that I want to hang up. So yeah, that is kind of where we're at the moment. So it is currently Thursday. So yeah, we're hoping to get the electrician out early next week to start on cabling up, wiring up this whole garage. It shouldn't hopefully be too big a job because the garage already has, as you can see, power in it. So yeah, once they've got the wiring all put around the outside of the framing, it basically means that Aaron can then come in, put the plasterboard on top, and then the electrician will come back and basically feed everything through. So we're going to have like USB sockets and things like that, so that sets that I have light kits for can just be kind of plugged straight into the mains. There's not going to be all these like battery packs and all this kind of shenanigans going on, because they're just clunky and just take up space and they're just a pain. So then I'll be able to like just switch things on at the wall and everything will be lit up. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. And yeah, other than that, it's just little details, like we're maybe going to get a Bonnie Brick sign printed, because another exciting piece of news for you guys actually is that Aaron recently treated himself to a 3D printer. So there has been some Lego-y stuff printed. Again, not going to give anything away, partly because it's not finished yet, but let's just say it's come out bigger than I thought, and that is not an innuendo. It's just, yeah. It's exciting though. The possibilities with this is just crazy. So yeah, I'll wrap up there, but that is it from me for now. But if you are enjoying these videos and these vlogs, please give the video a like and subscribe if you don't already do so. There is so much potential still to happen with this room. And something else I will mention is that as soon as I am able and everything is kind of good to go, I'm going to be live streaming in here, and I am absolutely going to be depending on you guys to help me figure out how I'm designing this room, designing my city, because especially in terms of the city, I have not got a solid idea of where things are going to go, what areas I'm going to have like for the different themes and all this kind of thing. So yeah, why not just like live stream the whole thing and just get you guys to tell me what you think? Sounds fun to me. Okay guys, until next time, bye!